Ay, 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 ay.
Hello guys, this is Blaze back again for another video, and this time I'm doing another Blaze review. Now this is a volume review. Now this is the second volume review, and I won't mess it up this time since I kinda messed up in the first one, which is the Tenshi-sama Volume 1 review. Now it's still good, but I didn't really talk about much of what happens and my thoughts on that volume. So when that volume 2 comes, I'll fucking review it properly. But for now, let's stick to GT4, which is the latest volume of A Certain Magical Index, translated by JS06. My dude, proud of you. I'll read the other series that you're translating currently. Yeah, that's a secret project for another day. So yeah, now since we already know the story, the characters, and we don't even need to talk about the art, it's fucking Haimura. Now let's talk about the volume, chapter by chapter, and I'll give my thoughts on it. So when it comes with the prologue, it basically starts with someone basically finding out that every people in LA has disappeared, all 30 million of it. There's a cold wave happening right now, and that's the first half of the prologue. The second half is basically fucking Kuroko. Why? In the volumes where Misaka isn't involved with Kuroko, like without Misaka, Kuroko is a good character. Like, not gonna lie, if Misaka was out of the picture and it stays Kuroko, she would have been a great character. But involving herself with Misaka, Jesus fucking Christ, bro, how is this even necessary at that point? Now, of course, Kuroko jumping in on Misaka, then Misaki trying to have sex on Toma, typical stuff, and Misaki found out that Toma escaped the hospital bed, as always. Motherfucking goat. Man needs a break. I repeat, the man needs a break. I have been saying this ever since the beginning. The man needs a break for this 6 months of hell. Or to be honest, it's not even 6 months of hell. If you read NC9, you get it. And then we get to Toma in the dorm trying to go to LA, and then he met Fukuyose and Himigami. The forgotten girl has screen time. Yes, finally, fucking finally. Now he asked the two to take care of his dorm while he's away, and Spinks as well. And yeah, the prologue ends with a helicopter going, and it was the Union Jack, which is involving the British ones. And yeah, that's the end of the prologue. Let's get into chapter 1. Now, chapter 1 basically starts off with Toma entering the plane, then basically Style and Kansaki like meeting him. Bro, the OG characters are fucking back. Now, after that, basically Star explains Operation Overlord Revenge, which is the battle against the RDC Acotics. They're attacking their headquarters. Then after that, Kansaki basically talked to Toma. That's really awkward since considering what happened up until now. They're fighting each other, fighting side by side, blah blah blah. After that, the plane landed. Thank God it was safe for Toma because, of course, you know, his misfortune after all. Then basically does some random shit. Those random shit are basically like gathering food, etc, etc. Bro, that was hilarious shit. Like for example, like a line where basically Toma said like everything that Index will be offered, like food would be disgusting or not, she would still rate it a 5 stars, bro. I mean, Index has basically eaten with Toma for the past 6 months, so I mean, yeah. And after that, we get some foreshadowing. I believe so, because Toma stumbled across the container with the names of the five overs, which is the machines that basically replicates the power of the level 5s. If I remember correctly, that is. Now it has the 5 over model case railgun, the thing that we saw in New Testament, model case 5 over, or basically 5 over model case meltdowner, we haven't seen that yet, and then 5 over OS, model case, accelerator. Now, when we talk about the accelerator, yeah, I forgot about that detail. Accelerator is currently in a social trial because the world found out that he killed 10,000 sisters and was involved in an experiment where he has to kill 20,000. That was in the sisters arc in Old Testament. And man, I remember that so well, bro. How amazing was the sisters arc in both Railgun and Index? Well, I don't really talk about the anime version of Index, more like the Index light novels. Like, those were the good shit, after that, before finding the headquarters, there basically some RNC Acotics members appeared. Then after that, they got to the RNC headquarters, basically fighting magicians. And after that, we get into a scene with basically Toma and Index finding this lost white-haired girl. Okay, that's the end of chapter 1. Let's get into chapter 2, my bad. Now going to start out with Toma talking to Hekauya, and then figuring out what happened in LA. Why was her mother involved, Melzabeth? But after that, Styles said that Kentucky disappeared while they were fighting someone. Then we get to another part where we get into Kansaki's perspective when she was fighting that same magician, that sand magician, fighting, and then we get to Toma talking to Hekauya again, talking about her mother. Do you think she has done bad or good? And basically this huge ass thing from the sky appeared. It's a V-shaped ship that's basically in this illustration right here. Then I literally have no idea space. It's for Hekauya. When she grows up, she wanted a wedding in space, which, what? Like, I know her mother was part of the astrology shit, but really? Why? I guess that will be explained later on, I guess, probably. And basically Toma explained to her why her mother is a good guy, because basically Anna, which is the CEO of Arts and Acotics, manipulated Hekauya to thinking that her mother was bad by basically giving the mother some bad missions or some bad fucking task. And yeah, and then Style fucking appears out of nowhere, then bringing out the 5 over model case for Meltdowner, and bro, motherfucker. Like, it's his usual style, but yeah, he hasn't even changed one bit. Guess that's the end of the chapter. Now, chapter 3, my god, we're gonna have a long talk for this one, since this is basically the longest chapter I have read from GT4 so far. This is gonna be a way long talk. Yeah, I'll be doing this basically out of flipping order. Let's talk about part 1. I mean, there's like 11 parts. It's kind of annoying at this point. Like, why? Now, part 1 starts with Misaka and Misaki. Jesus fucking Christ. Kamachi, like, don't involve them at this point. Bro, you've been forcing them in since Koronson destruction. Fucking unnecessary at that point. Basically, Toma needs help, blah blah blah. After this, part 2, let's start with Accelerator talking to... Now I'll just call her 545 because seriously, even still, New Testament, for fuck's sake. Her name is so hard to pronounce. And Don Fortune is talking to Accelerator, and basically the trial is going on for literally being convicted of killing 10,000 sisters. Wow. Now, why Accelerator done this? It's to protect the rest of the sisters, the 10,000 that survived, basically. What is the best part of this volume? Of course, we gotta talk about Roberto. My man, my fucking man, my president, best president in US, better than Funny Valentine. Bro, man has that enthusiasm that he had in NT3, and bro, this is why I fucking love NT3. It's because of Roberto Katse, bro. That was just amazing, bro. He has this enthusiasm while being in the pressure of the media, bro. That's just incredible. And speaking to the mic, answering their questions while the sisters arrived in LA. Jeez. Bro, this is a great chapter. Like the second half of chapter 3 is just amazing. Like I won't get into details because this is gonna be a long talk, but yeah, it's fucking amazing. And yeah, I guess this is the end of chapter 3. Let's get into chapter 4. Chapter 4 was amazing. Was fucking amazing. Bro, the fight with the sisters, Roberto fucking having a shotgun battle in the fucking press conference, Toma basically trying to get Melsabeth back to normal and getting reunited with her daughter and Misaka. Yeah, I'll just get rid of that. But first of all, let's talk about the sisters. The sisters were a really nice touch, seeing it all over again. I mean, we haven't really seen much of the sisters since, I don't know, it's been a while. Don't even remember the volume, except for Last Order. And worse, somewhat. Bro, that was amazing. Second of all, let's talk about the... Bro, Roberto really goes off the rails with this volume. Like, bro, he's more enthusiastic than in NT3, for fuck's sake, loading a fucking shotgun against the vice president who is the traitor and a spy for RNC Acotics. Like, bro, that's fucking amazing. Roberto, you got a gold star. He's the GOAT president, my boy. And Toma, bro, it's somewhat touching. Like, we didn't get like any flashback on the PBS's mother-daughter, but this reunion is somewhat touching. It's really well done considering, like I said, not having any flashbacks of those two. So yeah, and before that, we find out that Anna wants to basically was very interested in Melsabeth because she's the only one in that company who decided to betray her with that. And yeah, that's basically it. I really can't say anything less. That chapter was amazing. I know the epilogue is gonna be good since I read a little bit of it like before recording this. So yeah, bro, the epilogue, the return of that human. That human is Alistair motherfucking the GOAT Crowley. Okay, let's talk about the epilogue and the question mark. Yes, I'll be talking about the last two chapters of GT4. The first half was the end of the Roberto craze. And the second half, bro, my goat, the second best antagonist of all time, Aster the goat Crowley, is back with an entrance that's fucking brutal. He made a point to Anna, and it will deliver to her. Definitely, since all of the executives of the RC Occultics were brutally murdered. I mean, to be honest, what's really the point, Anna? Like, you made this company and you want to destroy it? Well, I guess we'll find out her motivations in the future volumes of Genesis Testament. Now, when it comes to the ending, the ending has some really interesting information right here that's gonna be in the later volumes by the looks of it. This is a great setup at this point. This is just a little bit of information of what happens next in the future volumes. This is gonna be involving a woman named Aradia and Alice, which I really am interested, since Aradia was the god of all witches from a famous witchcraft grimoire, same as Dawn Fortune. And then we get to something that's really interesting. Where did the name Anna Springel came from? It was a reference to the teacher of Westcott and Matters of the Golden Cabal, the formerly strongest or the biggest magic cabal of the 18th century, if I remember correctly. 19th, 18th century. Yeah, I forgot about that. And then with these final words, everyone is waiting, Maiden of Nuremberg, says the picture book, who was pierced by its many spikes. That's the end of GT4. Now, what would I rate GT4? It would definitely be an 8 out of 10. It's a good volume with some questionable decisions by Kamachi, but it's still good, to be honest. Like, I really like the last few chapters, chapter 3 to the ending was really interesting, and that's really the save that GT4 can get. Now, to give my overall thoughts, I'm really glad that Otanis has a lot of dialogue with Toma that's really interesting. Like, she's basically the helper of Toma with these kinds of missions. I hope this continues further on. I'm really glad that the world accepted the sisters. Like literally, though these are only 10,000 people of a world that has 7 billion people. What's basically the harm of adding 10,000 more? Feels like I don't know what's the exact number of babies born into this world each day, but I think it's close to the equivalent of at least one day to 1 week. It's between that. Like, what's literally the harm? And since they're clones, like, literally, what's the point? I'm really interested to seeing, but even though I hate Misaka nowadays, somewhat hate Misaka and Misaki, I'm really interested on how she will explain the clones to Kuroko. That conversation will be an interesting one. And yeah, I guess this is probably the end of the video, I guess. Please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Share to a friend and watch these videos next right here. So yeah, can't wait to see how Aleister Crowley does his next move. Because what an entrance did he have. Like, in GT3, we find out that Aleister Crowley is back in action. In GT4, he made an entrance that's fucking impactful as fuck. And that's literally the best part of GT4 for me. So yeah. Aleister, I can't wait to see more of your shenanigans. So yeah. Bye!